Hello, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Hi there.
I'm working on it.
Today, we're presenting to you an intro webinar that we're going to show you everything about the master's course of PGCert. We're going to go over everything that you'll learn if you take part in the course. And we're at the wonderful venue of Plan Mecca. Can I just check? I can go down here. Can I just check that you can hear us? Hey, good.
Good.
Okay, so I'm glad you could all join us. Where's that sound when we're talking about the digital course. So, a few of you have already been on the website, a few of you won't. We're going to show you a walkthrough of what we are going to be covering on the course, and also we're going to tell you about things like the residentials, which we're going to have as part of the course, places like this that you'll come to, and we'll teach you pretty much everything we and other people know. So let us go through. So it's a level 7 postgrad certificate, diploma, and master's degree. We've done this in collaboration with, well, from the start, we are now finalised with the City of London Dental School. And the nice thing about that, and you'll see that later, is I think they're pretty much probably the best people that we've looked into that we can run things with from a distance learning perspective. What you see on their main website is really a very limited side of their website. That you've got a lot of components where you can watch videos, read literature, access things on their website once you're registered that we can give you constantly. That means that notifications, everything's easy, which realistically, because it's a digital course, we wanted to have the ability for you to rewatch everything, watch it from a distance, and be able to take part in it in a variety of different ways wherever you are in the world. And I don't want to just me talk all the time, so I'll introduce me. Basically, for me with digital things, I started off going back years ago when I first started doing my implants. And my implants were, I did my course in 2010 to 11. Before that, I was a geek anyway, playing around with software, stuff like that. But I got into things because of the implant side of things, which is why I like doing all the guided surgery. And things have pretty much evolved from there. One of the best things I did was set my own practice up. So part of the course is going to be from me trying to give you my input as to how best to integrate things into your practice, whether it's a new practice or an old practice that you want to be able to take this technology and use it to the best extent. I will leave you with.
Right, so I got involved in digital dentistry quite a while back. I bought my first series in 2004, 2005, and I just loved the opportunity to give me to engage with patients in a modern dental level, and also, to make our career a lot more exciting, because obviously we wanted to be in a position where we wanted to take the practice forward. We wanted people to engage with modern dentistry so that they feel more confident about things that we're doing. But in the process, it's been absolutely fantastic because it stimulated me as a dentist to try and achieve better things. And together with that, I've tried to stay in line with all the new equipment, CPCT, like Adam was saying, been involved in it for a long, long time. I've got involved with I think it's one of the first people that we said. So it's just amazing how it's evolved and how much easier it is 10 years, 15 years later to actually use these technologies, and how it's going to change your life in practice, and also how it's going to change your practice really, because you're going to engage with where dentistry is going, and you're going to feel more stimulated about what you're doing.
So I'm just trying to get this microphone to pick us up a little bit better.
Can you all hear us quite clearly?
Is that better now, Lynn? Hey,
fabulous.
Okay. So I'm Patrick. I run a fairly big
this where we have time now. I also have on-site work with everything on the run way. My focus on what's coming out now and see how we want everything to develop across all the different.
Sorry, just trying to get the microphone a little bit closer, so just so that everybody can hear us very clearly.
Also, apart from the lab side, I also have quite a big interest in orthodontics side of things, doing a lot of Invisalign and various other. Even cozier now, isn't it?
That's
We'll get very cozy.
Yeah. So I think we all bring something different to the table. We all do a bit of everything, but we all have our specific areas that we. That same way as for my practice, I try to we try and cover everything. Three of us, and also to get together that it's nice.
Yeah, I think one of the things about getting into new fields of dentistry is there's always going to be pioneers, and then there's going to be the early adopters, and you're going to get everybody engaging in that, and finally the late adopters. But the whole point about it is when I got into digital dentistry, there was no help, there was no guidance, and I think that that's one of the things that we really wanted to address. We wanted to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to have the confidence to use everything that they invest in, and as things evolve, you want to have some sort of protocol you can follow to keep you safe. And one of the things about setting up this diploma that we're going to discuss with you today was really to ensure that it is going to equip you properly to go forward, but also to give you the opportunity to go to a high level of education you want to. And that's the reason we really fought so hard to get a level 7 certification, which we find to achieve. Everything that you're going to be doing now will be the credits towards your MSc, but we're going to cover more about that in a minute.
It's nice to have something that's properly registered as well.
So when you go on our website, you'll see this, the option at the top to click through to the diploma master's part right at the top. When you click onto that, you'll see all of the information that we're going to go through. And there's also a link through to the Coles website where you'll be able to register. But we'll talk to you more about the course itself. So realistically, the course, we didn't want to be just a digital course that focuses on one specific part, be that implants or dentures or anything like that. We wanted to be a coverall to cover as much of digital dentistry as we can. Whether that means we're bringing in other experts that have better knowledge than we do, all of those parts are going to be incorporated into the full course. And as Patrick and Chris have said, that it is a level 7 course, so there's going to be assessments, write-ups, and eventually, if you take part in the master's, the research side of things, which is going to be good for you guys if you wanted to add something back to the digital dental world as a community. So it is the first one. By being the first one, we hopefully are going to be providing something that's never really been done before. We've got a few people that have signed up that we realized we delayed things a little bit, that we're going to be starting in September. And we've got the second cohort that is going to be January. Realistically, the lectures that we're going to be doing between now and January, everything's going to be accessible anyway through the website. And you'll be able to watch a few of those, even if you don't sign up straight away, and see if it's something which is good for you, and then that you're going to learn from. And those will be accredited moving forward. So even if we've taken these lectures to be part of the course, you can join in at any point then, which it basically means that there's no stress or pressure to jump on board.
Can I just check that everybody can still hear us? I see Martin's type, sorry, I still can't hear anything. Can everyone else hear us clearly? Can someone just type back and let us know?
Someone's typing.
Okay. Just waiting for a response on that. Sorry, guys, because I'm getting a lot of messages here that sounds not great.
It's going to throw in your phone when we were testing it.
Yeah.
Unless it's to do with the internet. Patty needs to speak up again.
Okay. I'll speak up again. Okay. I'll talk a bit more.
Okay. So it's because I've got a loud voice. So basically, the aims and objectives of the course. The aims and objectives. We aim to, by providing the whole experience of this as a PGCert, then diploma, and a master's. We want to give you the ability to use the equipment, yes, but also learn why the equipment works the way it works, so the science behind it, the best ways of using it and incorporating it into practice, but also giving you the development you need to be able to take things further if you did go forward to the masters. The understanding and the the science behind the technology is equally important. So there's quite a lot of information that we're going to have to go over, as well as just say this is how you use a scanner. So it's not as simple as that, really. We need to,
yes, absolutely. There's so many manufacturers out there, so many amazing products that we're all very keen to use, really. But it is a little bit of a jungle, and when you go out there and you look at buying something, you are investing potentially quite a lot of money, and it's good to have a really good think about what it is actually you're trying to do and what you need. And I personally ended up buying a lot of stuff that I didn't actually need, and half of it didn't quite do what I wanted to. So it was, when I started out, a little bit frustrating, and that's one of the reasons I really wanted to get into this, so we can make sure people buy the things that they need and want, and get the full use out of it, really, because the kit is evolving so quickly as well. So very exciting.
Chris wants me to translate. Do you know that the first time anybody's asked me to translate? It's usually when I come down to London, they don't understand what the Northern was saying, to be honest. So the objectives, we want you to be able to have a safe, predictable, and competent understanding of dental treatment using these dental technologies, their role and how you use those in your practice for the best care of your patients, using the tools with the rest of the team to develop a good, complex workflow that works well for you quickly and efficiently, and to take the science and understanding of the technologies forward to be able to do research later on down the line. We also want, we've got to understand that these technologies are a newer technology, so the ethical and legal implications of them is important. So even little things like using the equipment in the way that it's CE marked means that you cover the legalities of it, that sort of thing. So without just rambling on and telling you about our focus on the course, to tell you about the actual specifics of it. So the modules themselves, I think, should we do one each? Mm-hmm. So the foundation knowledge, the foundation of the digital dental history. Digital dentistry has been evolving for the past 40 years. Yeah. So from the conception of digital dentistry in the 70s, the start of CEREC in the 80s and 90s, all of this has been a long time coming, and in the rest of the world, all of these technologies are more widely used. I think in the UK it's probably underutilized, but hopefully this sort of thing will take things up again. So we're going to tell you about the terminology and the science. So anybody who's not used to any of this technology will be able to learn how to use them and understand them if they have no knowledge whatsoever. And the people who have a little bit of knowledge, who maybe have a scanner or a printer in practice, will learn and to understand it better. And then that'll take us through, once you have that core knowledge, to the treatment plan and smart plan.
Yes, I mean, there's a lot of really exciting software out there that helps you to achieve the kind of aesthetic results and also the functional results that you are after. But some of it isn't that available or that easy to use. a little bit of thought to get into it. So we're going to focus quite a bit on the best way of using DSD and planning and different softwares and just different technologies that you might be interested in order to achieve that perfect smile and that result that you're after. And a lot of it is based on software, and a lot of it is also based on the thought behind it, but likewise we will be looking at clinical sides of it as well, how to implement it in your practice.
Like the skin protocol.
Yeah, like the skin protocol and photography and things like that, which is, often areas that can be improved upon very easily, and that can make a huge difference to your day-to-day practice.
Yeah. And then with regards to digital impression scanners, it's normally the first point of entry to the digital world. It's perceived just as an impression, but of course there's a lot that can be done with a digital impression scanner. So we're going to look at the options for taking impressions, how we can send information from like bad gauges for doing bite plates, how we can design that ourselves chairside using free software like Mesh Mixer. We then can also look at the how we're going to use the intraoral scanners for treatment planning in order to consent patients a lot more effectively, but also to help us formulate a better treatment plan with a much more positive prognosis right from the start, rather than waiting and having all the areas of where you take an impression, get the lab to do a wax up, there might be a distortion on the impression, or there might be a problem with the wax up. You can do that all chairside while your patient's there. So we're going to cover that. We're going to cover the technologies. We're going to try and cover a lot of different scanners hands-on in the course itself, so you can actually get to play with all the different scanners as well. It'll get you opportunity to feel what you would like to use. Most of them will probably be exactly what each other do, but it's really about the feel and the support you get from each other.
So I think that, but just as a side note, one of the reasons why we're doing this course is when we all started out, the support wasn't really there. So you're lucky these days, the manufacturers know more, and they know that consumers expect that a little bit more. And so, that leads us on to, once we've covered the scanners, that it's all designed to be a natural progression. You understand the core knowledge, you understand how you treatment plan, you understand how best to take a scan. And then once you've got that ability, then you can then design your restorations. The CAD design software, there's a hell of a lot of different types of CAD design software, and it makes a big difference as to what you're wanting to do with that. So I'll cover a couple of these. So the CAD design software, realistically, because there's different ways you can design a crown, a veneer, a bridge. The protocols and science you have to understand as part of that, because the milling machines that are used with these digital CAD design softwares, you need to prepare things in a slightly different way than you would conventionally if you were doing, say, vertipreps or whatever and send it to a lab. You need to understand how the milling strategies work so that you don't design something from preparation that the milling machine is going to struggle to cut out the inside fitting surface to. So the restorative protocols and science behind it is as important as probably any other part of this, if not more, because once you understand the reasons why the restorations the preps have to be a certain way for your scan, then the design is easier and the output is easier, and then you get better designs.
It all makes sense, and we do want to also focus on the scientific part of background behind the materials and the machinery, and also this is an emerging scientific field as well. So we are looking at getting things together as well, and hopefully you'll be able to take this to an MSc in the long run, where you will be having your own scientific study that you will be able to hopefully publish somewhere interesting, and you will also be looking to the scientific that are all part of it. So it's all very exciting, and there's a lot of new developing technologies as well, and the big one for us is also 3D printing, which is something we really do want to get into, and feel that changing almost in 5 days.
Yeah, well, I think there's quite limited evidence, and I know there's a big push for us to practice evidence-based dentistry, but I think the important thing is to get your basics in dentistry correct and then use these tools to enhance what you're doing and to make things more predictable. And a lot of the stuff we're going to be doing is going to be perhaps not always evidence-based, but we're going to try and use the best evidence we can to move forward on it. And obviously, this is where you guys will also be pioneers in the long term. You get involved, do some studies, perhaps do some publications that are going to be relevant to help the rest of the community in the dental world, and hopefully have the exposure so that you can actually take that information and simulate it and actually produce the things that everybody needs in it. So 3D printing is obviously a very new field. Well, it's not that new, but it's new for the chair side. It's been around for a long time in dentistry, especially with surgical guides, central printing facilities for surgical guides like Nobel Clinician, for example, Simplant. But the idea there would be to actually, how can we use printers chairside to make our lives easier, getting a model, printing a little skull. Perhaps if you're doing a lot of bone grafting, you can print the skull itself so that you can actually virtually plan the treatment before you actually go to the mouth and provide that treatment. So it's really assimilating all this information, putting it together, and hopefully being able to make your decision making a lot more predictable.
Yeah, and also implementing it in your own practice. You know, you don't necessarily. A lot of these things can be used by sending it to a lab and letting them do a lot of the work. And in some situations, that's ideal. But it's also quite exciting to be able to have it all in your own practice, and that's something we'll be focusing on quite heavily as well on how to make things work chairside. Yeah.
So if we class the first third of the course, the first third of the course as the postgrad certificate, giving you the foundation knowledge to take a patient and follow them through and create something nice. So nice and simple. It's the basic parts of that patient's journey. Okay. Then obviously the diploma side is going to be a more advanced version of that. So the diploma is going to cover all of the more advanced features of digital dentistry. So the CAM manufacture, which I'm going to let you talk about, Chris.
Yep. Yeah. So the CAM manufacture really about the correct design and the correct parameters for the selection of materials, what thicknesses you can put in, what applications you can put it in. We're going to do a hands-on session with part of the residentials would be to actually do staining and glazing on the different materials and understanding how to make them appear more lifelike when you're doing them chairside yourself. But really, there's a big component on materials purely because we have the ability to mold them chairside. CAD materials are really the future. Most of the labs now are using CAD technologies, even though we think that they are doing things conventionally, they might not have the facilities on site. They could be sending it off to a central milling facility, but everything's gone down the CAD route. And really, it's, even if you decide in your own practice that I don't really want to do the billing and I don't really want to do the hands-on, but it's good to have the knowledge so that you know where your technician's coming from, you know what you can be prescribing to your technician, and how you're going to get the best aesthetic result for your cases.
Yeah. And then that'll lead us on to a couple of different parts of the diploma, the 2 modules, digital orthodontics and also CT and guided surgery. Now, you might think that, because they're 2 totally different modules that might apply to you or not. The reason why we want to include those no matter what is just simply because if you are going to the point where you are covering a diploma and then a master's effectively, you should know pretty much about everything anyway. So I'll leave Patrick talk about digital orthodontics.
Yeah, orthodontics is a very fast development really in the digital world, not just with Invisalign. We'll be talking a lot about Invisalign and treatment planning and how to scan in various softwares to get your planning done, but also for conventional orthodontics, and also there's a vast number of new aligner systems on the market that we're going to look into, like ClearCorrect and Clear Aligners, And also there are some new ones that are being developed now, like the new F22 aligner that's just come over to Britain. And also finally, you will be able to look at how to design your own orthodontic appliances and maybe print your own models and make them all in-house as well, using software like exocad and 3Shape. And this is, in my view, the future really of orthodontics. Yes, we will still be carrying on with fixed braces, and that's also something that can be treated with, supported at least with the digital planning, and you can make your little guides for fitting the appliances, and that's also something that we can look at doing in-house. But the clear aligners are very exciting, and that also leads on to part of the smile design, and also how it can all be implemented in a full case treatment, where you might do orthodontic treatment first, and then also do your implant planning together with that, all aiming to have a digital smile design all in the background. So there's a lot of advanced clinical practice that can be done.
And that's where we pretty much end up with, after going through with the CT and guided surgery side of things, that realistically with the digital orthodontics and guided surgery, those two modules really are for you to, like I said, we need to know this anyway, because if we are creating a digital journey for the patient, if they have a missing tooth, or if they have crooked teeth, which we want to be more minimal in our smile design with, yes, you might not place implants, you might not do the orthodontic side of things, but if you understand the path that patient's journey could go down, then you can decide that may be a better alternative to refer in-house or elsewhere for them to take part in that part of the journey, and then communicate back to yourself to finish off the rest of that treatment plan. And it gives you then the ability to cover everything. We're not going to be training you to place implants. We're not going to be training you to place braces, but it'll be the understanding of those aspects of the digital path of the journey, the digital journey for the patient.
And I think the main point to realize here is that what we really want to do is make that pathway easy for our patients, and that's where digital dentistry is improving the experience for the patient. Like Adam says, if you don't really get involved in certain aspects of it, it's good to know, because you're going to know what to do with your patient, who to refer to make their experience a lot more pleasant than what it would be otherwise.
And some of the tools these days, like everybody knows, those in the digital world that know that iTero have on their scanner their treatment simulator for Invisalign, that's been the only scanner up to now that has that technology, software technology, to show the patient that treatment simulation. 3Shape are just launching theirs. There's others that it's going to just be a generalized part of a single click that you take a scan and offer that patient that as a treatment option. And like I said, if you understand that modality of digital dentistry, then it may open up doors in your own practice to provide those services, who knows. And I think the overall result of the diploma is then the advanced clinical practice, where you can use the cases that you've been doing throughout the journey, throughout the PGCert diploma, to show how you're learning and reflect on your learning, which is a massive part of the PGCert diploma, that you understand your own strengths and what you've learned from the process, where your weaknesses are, that we can then strengthen those parts so that you can then take a journey with the patient and then present that in the final section of the diploma. And then that's it for us. And then we leave you with the City of London Dental School. They then take you on the rest of the journey, where you understand everything, and if not potentially more than us and the people that we have on the course, you're then a master, and you then use that knowledge and you do your own research, deciding a literature review or a little bit of something physical, who knows, that you can, like Patrick said before, can give back to the scientific community and understand things even more by doing that. And from a personal perspective, from doing a PhD at the minute, Some people I speak to, you know, have said, is that not the boring part of it? Absolutely not, because if you're doing something with the thing that you like doing and you're learning from it, then that gives you then a greater depth of understanding than you know you can do just by watching webinars and learning. You are doing it. You see, that's the end goal, is to get you not only competent from the PGCert, understanding from the diploma, but also then progressing to a master's level and being a master in digital dentistry. So now you understand the course, we'll talk about the costs. So we don't want to say too much with this and act like we're trying to sell this. This is just, these are the costs. We've managed to, because now of the situation that's delayed things a little bit at the start, that we are now directly partnered with City of London Dental School and with the Level 7 accreditation. It's meant that we've been able to, with the discussions we've had, have the whole courses Level 7 accredited, no matter what, which it wasn't going to be before. So we've gained that now, and it also means that because of the situation, we can offer the course at a lower figure than it was going to be before. So before it was going to be 7,000 plus VAT, which is the 8,350, and then there was going to be top-up fees. It was going to work out to about 30,000 a year.
Not a year, for the 3 years.
For the 2 to 3 years, yeah.
With the MSc, in other words.
With the masters. Yeah. Now we're having it as 8,350 because it's fully accredited. There's no top-up fees. There's nothing to get that level 7 accreditation. It is what it is, and then it's split up evenly. You can do one, come back to it later, do the whole thing. It's in your hands then.
And then it has a total fee of about 25.
About 25.
And it's knocked off about £5,000.
No, and you'll see on the website, and you'll see at the bottom of the screen there that there is scholarships available for a certain number of students, depending on their circumstances at first. That's not decided by us. We will take every case, and it's up to the first 10 people who can get that. They would present that to the City of London Dental School, and they can make that decision.
That's right.
But you know, realistically, if we're trying to push this, then we want you all to get that. So
yeah.
You know, if we can, we will. And then the course dates and structure. So the final part of what we're going to talk about is how it's going to be structured, how you're going to take part in the course. So the monthly lectures that we're going to be doing are going to be recorded. They're going to be accessible from your City of London Dental School website that you'll be able to log into, rewatch whenever you do, and every time you do, it'll give you the ability to reflect, answer multiple choice questions, or whatever type of assessment that will be associated with that webinar. There'll be optional videos that we can put on there, that all of the literature that's going to be on there. Everything's accessed through that website. Like I said before, a great distance learning portal for that. And so on top of that, we're going to have a couple of residentials, if not more, potentially optional extra ones. You know, we're going to try and give you guys every little bit we can do with being able to have you know, support from different manufacturers to be able to get you there, doing things hands-on at every opportunity. So whether that be photography, place like this, Chris will have show you a walk around in a sec, and to learn in the best way, as well as distance learning, watching webinars. If you can come, great. If you can't, we're going to record everything again so that everything's going to be accessible, and then you can cover everything as many times as you like.
Yeah, and it should work as an international course as well. So
exactly,
try and do as much as possible as a distance learning, and through the excellent website on Coles. It's a really good way of accessing things at your own pace as well.
Yeah. And literature, we've already got a stockpile of literature that's going to be for the whole course, and you know, we can add more again. That's optional reading material as things come out. The nice thing about the links that we've got with the IDDA side of things, we're constantly aware of new things that are coming out, and we can add that into it at a flick of a switch on the website, really. So that builds into the community side of things, the community and mentoring and you know, support that we already do as part of like the WhatsApp group, the Facebook group, that everybody's constantly there. You know, we were talking about last night where things were going back a year and a half, 2 years ago, when it was 1,000 or 2,000 people in the group, and we used to answer a lot of those questions that would come up, and things have evolved now where we're hitting nearly 9,000 members, and it's an open forum, and it's not just focused on one type of digital dentistry like the others. It is across the board for everything. And now you put a question on, and there'll be someone in Mexico or someone in Japan who will just answer there straight away, and before you've even got on there. So it's a beautiful support network. You've already got that. But obviously we're going to have our own more intimate groups that are going to be there for the student community on Facebook and WhatsApp, for you to ask more personal questions about the course as well.
Yeah, and also for the international students as well. There's an opportunity for them to come and do some of the hands-on components with us. We are looking at setting up some of the training bits elsewhere in the world, but we're not at that stage yet.
Yeah, possibly next year, looking at Dubai maybe, hopefully.
Dubai.
But as that evolves, and we're not going to be rejecting anybody who wants to come and do these from abroad. If they need a letter or whatever, then an invitation.
Yeah,
whatever we
can help.
That's something we can organise through the university.
Yeah, the nice thing with having that closer link is the university is a lot of that side of things.
Yeah, so we try and keep the face-to-face sessions together rather than spread out a day here and a day there. So it makes it easier for the international students to come over and do a couple of intense days, really.
Yeah. So when you've decided that that's for you and you're going forward, the course application that you do, it's live now. It's on the bottom of the DDA website. There's a little Colds logo that you can click on, and that takes you through to this course application page. For those of you that have already entered some of these details once, I apologize. This is the registration with the university now. So if you type in all of these details, and you'll see a few of them here, and then there'll be the second page here. You have to select from the list, which is where you say there, just at the bottom, Coles registration, says what course are you applying for. That's where you would select the digital dentistry course by the DDA. There's loads of courses the City of London Dental School do. I mean, we were talking yesterday to Stuart. It's 2,000 students. So you're part of a big, successful campus, which is good.
That's 2,000 dental students.
Yeah.
All doing postgrad.
A massive amount of people. And like we said before, there's the mentor network, the IDDA that we're a part of. We run anyway. So we've got a lot of people to call a hand to provide you some really excellent lectures worldwide. And I won't go over the IDDA. You know about that. There's the conference and awards, which we've just announced, and that's about it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Why don't we, to finish things off, show a little bit of the sort of venue that we're going to be looking at, so you can see.
Tour. So over to Chris.
Right, so let's get the camera on.
Today we're at Outrekkers facilities in Coventry.
So these facilities are perfect for the sort of thing that we're going to be doing. It'll be venues like this where we've got a big nice room, easy access location, trains that just drop off straight outside, and it's 10 minutes from Birmingham. So places like this are perfect, and it's that sort of easy access that we want for you guys.
Here we have the facility to look at face scanners, X-rays. We've got the ProFace panel and scanning unit in here. And got a number of dental chairs to try out. Various software.
3D printing.
Are we coming over to the 3D printing side now? There will be new 3D printers coming out as well. There's a few set up here now, and also there's the Pameka Romex's milling machine.
That's their old printer. The new one that's coming out, which prints in say 10 minutes. It's ridiculously fast.
Amazing, the new one.
Ivoclar furnace there. The Ivoclar venue, which is which is also an excellent venue. That's going to have.
That's up the road from here, really. So.
Yeah, it's not far from here, and that's going to be great for us. That's in Leicester, and they're going to have. Hello. So the Iberclaw venue is going to be somewhere where you'll be able to have hands-on learning with us. All the little tips and tricks and techniques that we've picked up over the last few years to get your crowns whilst they're milled from just look, even when they're milled into shape, looking like a block, into looking like a tooth.
A nice block.
A nice block. Yeah, a pretty block.
Yeah.
So,
That should be good.
okay. So, let's take this one. And we're back live again. So
thanks for joining us.
Yep. Hopefully, did the sound resolve itself? Took a couple of settings on. Was it better? For the most part, good. Good.
Thanks, Elaine. Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about things before we get going?
Yes, I think we could use this little few minutes here just to
We've got as much time as you need, guys.
take
so
some messages and
any questions about the course, please feel free, just ask.
Yes, for the second half, thank you. Oh, okay.
And that's the sound.
There was Martin who had a problem with the sound.
Any questions about how to sign up or how to enter the Colds network? It's pretty straightforward, really. It's just to find the website, go through it, and it says DDA.
We should say actually, once you've filled in that registration, what happens? The reason why things were delayed were complex, which I'm not going to go into. But basically, the end result is now that everything's ready to set up for you to register on that website. Once that's live, and because of the accreditation now that we have that, once you make that registration on the Colds website, then we will personally get in touch with you to set up what sort of finance options, scholarship, anything like that you want to do. And then we hand you over to the Colds dental school secretary that deal with all the finance. We don't deal with that, we just do the teaching.
So we've got a question, when does the course now begin?
Well, so the course, yeah, we are supposed to be doing our first webinar in October. So that date is the 10th. So it depends on.
We'll send an email out with all the.
Yeah, how many people, in all honesty, end up registering for this first cohort or the second cohort that's going to be in January? We're more than likely going to be having both of those cohorts sharing the residentials that end up going ahead in the early part of next year. The dates.
Well, the 10th was the first introduction, the first lecture where we're going to go through a little bit about basics and looking at getting. Yes, it's the 10th of October.
Yeah, 10th of October. So that was when we were going to be starting to go over it. We're going to be doing those webinars anyway, whether you join the course before or not. We're going to give you the option to watch those webinars and pay individually for those webinars, and then that payment go towards your course fees. So if you decide you do this these first few and you've enjoyed the lectures and you do want to take part in the rest of the course and go through everything that's on the Colds website, you can register at any time. So really the difficult answer is, when does the course start? Now. It's already started. Yeah. We've got it. You can join whenever.
Chris Contest wants to know. It's on the City of London Dental School website. I have the possibility to register for the certificate and the diploma. Can we do both at the same year?
So yeah, so anybody who registers for the diploma will naturally go through the PGCert and the diploma stages. Anybody who registers for the masters will go through all three stages. So you register for the course that you now want to go to finish. If you only want to do the postgrad certificate now, then that's absolutely fine. You can later on decide to extend that, obviously depending on your student things. The thing that, to make it clear with the scholarships though, the scholarships are provided with the university dependent on the full masters being taken. So
Yeah.
those discounts are for the full 3 parts.
The full
basically.
3 parts, which is 180 credits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So each module will be 60 credits. You have 60 the certificate, 60 the diploma, and 60 which would be your dissertation for your MSc.
Yeah.
So
we're going to be having graduations down in London with full graduation
Cool.
ceremony for every stage. So depending on whether you just want for each part, that's no
I
problem.
think the question was, can you sign up for everything here? So you can sign up for the diploma, and then we'll just try and go through everything as swiftly as possible, really. But there's obviously stages that we have to go through, and there's certain lectures that we have to do.
Yeah.
And there's
you have to finish the credits for each level. So if you finish your 60 credits quickly, you can move on to the diploma.
Yeah.
So Neil, your question about what scanner would you recommend to purchase? I think it'll depend really on what application you want it for. And also the other thing is you've got to look at the support you're going to be getting. I would say that the starting point would be really just to find out what's
a little bit more
available.
about you, really.
Yeah, a little bit more about you, so that there's better guidance as to.
I'd say for that question, it's probably best pop in your question of that on the DDA WhatsApp group, and we'll answer you later on, no problem.
Yeah, there's plenty of threads on there as well. But I think also it's important to say you don't have to buy any particular equipment before you start. As you progress through the lectures and the courses, you'll see what it is that you might want. We've had a lot of people asking, do I need to go out and buy a 3D printer? And I would say, have a think about what it is you need it for and which printer works best for you. A good laptop, I would say, is certainly useful. But I'm sure anyone
go high end. Don't skimp on your computers now. If you're going to be doing this, you need it high end.
You must have a dedicated graphics card. You can't have it incorporated on the motherboard. So you really have to splash out a little bit.
GeForce 1080 or something, good graphics card. So 32 gig of RAM has to be your norm for all your computers you're doing any of this on from now on, definitely.
It makes life easier.
Elaine's asked, are the hands-on days in London? So some components, yes, as an option. Some components will be here in Coventry, in Iverclars, over in Leicester, and whether we end up providing options for that to do it or north and south, I think we're finalising a couple of details like that.
Yeah.
But for the ones that we've already set, they're going to be in a couple of different venues around the country. We might also give you more options, hopefully, because we want to make it flexible. Does City of London Dental School ask for
that's a language
level?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I'm not sure actually, but
no, it's called
I've not seen that.
Yeah. And I've spoken to you, Chris. You've got better English than me. I'm from the north.
You need a translator to understand.
I need a translator.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure we'll be fine, and we'll be happy to support and help out, all along the way. And we're constantly on the website anyway. So
yes. I think, I want to say as well that the main thing with all of this, this really is the culmination of everything that we've been doing the last few years. Digital Dent Academy, teaching, course-wise, those of you that have been on some of the courses, all those sorts of things, this is the culmination of it. And the reason why we're doing it, it's not financial, it's not for ego, it's not to raise any of our profiles. We're all practicing clinicians. Our money comes from our clinics, and we get that because hopefully we treat our patients well. And the digital side of things we all love because it gives more back to us to enjoy our clinics and our patients. This is really just what we love doing as well as that.
Yeah.
And my mum was a French teacher, Chris, so you'll hopefully give me a few tips that I can go back and impress her again with. But yes, I mean, realistically, that's probably where I get my enthusiasm from with this. And I know these two guys love anything to do with gadgets and teaching the same as I do. It's why we get on so well. And it's a pleasure working with these guys. I wouldn't be doing this if it was on my own.
Yeah. No, definitely. Guys, the webinar will be it's been recorded and it will be posted again on the WhatsApp group, so you can always watch it again if there's anything that you missed.
Yeah.
Go back and watch it again, and then
I'll boost the volume of anything where, if I want to watch the recording, if there's anywhere where the sound is low, I'll boost it. That's no problem.
Okay.
Okay. Any last questions before we go and have some beers?
Okay. And feel free to contact us either on Facebook or on the WhatsApp group, or if there's anything particular, we are here.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
for joining us.
Thank you.